Have you bought or are you thinking of buying a disc brake road bike? Well, the bike industry is pushing the disc brakes for road bikes. And it's not just the disc brake that you'll buy with your new road bike. It's also this, the through axle arrangement. Nothing new, because both of them have come from the mountain bike industry and proved themselves really well. So you're also going to get the through axle arrangement. Now, what's wrong with the good old quick release? Here's the good old quick release. We've had this for over 80 years, thanks to Tullio Campagnolo, who invented it all that time ago. And it served the bike industry really well. But bikes have moved on, and it may be time that the quick release is going to be no more. So what are the advantages of the through axle arrangement? First of all, it makes the hub to frame connection stiffer. Secondly, it's safer. Now, with the old quick release, the dropouts on your frame and forks were like a C shape. And so with the quick release undone, it was easy for the wheel to fall out. Not so with the through axle, as the dropouts are completely enclosed. It's also more precise. When you put the wheel in and do up the through axle, it aligns itself automatically and precisely in between your frame or your forks, and the disc rotor itself aligns itself exactly between the pads of the caliper. About the only disadvantage with this arrangement at this stage on road bikes is it's a little bit heavier than the old system, mostly because of the disc and the caliper itself, and a little bit because the through axle requires a larger diameter axle and a bit beefier of a hub. The other thing about the through axle arrangement is they still have the handle on the end. Just like this bike, when I got this bike, it had the handles on the end of the through axles, both the front and the rear, and I had no option, they're not removable. So you've probably seen some of the through axles where the handles come off, and yep, it makes for cleaner lines and more aerodynamic. Let's face it, it just looks better. So you may have thought it'd be nice to have that arrangement if your road bike hasn't got it, your disc brake road bike, or if you're going to buy a disc brake road bike, there's a high chance that you're going to have the handles on. There's no options unless you want to pay a lot more to have them changed over. Now, I've looked on the internet, and you have probably too, and seen that ones like this one, the DT Swiss version, are rather expensive. So wouldn't it be nice to find somewhere that has them cheaper? Well, I can help you out there, because I've now found a seller and I bought them myself, and I'm going to put them on this bike. Here they are. They're through axle with no handle, and the handles you can get as an option, or you can use an Allen key, and then you can get the handles very cheap anyhow. And these were very, very cheap. So let's just have a look at them. Right, so here they are. That's the front one, and this one is the rear one. Come with a few spares, which you may or may not need, the washer, and you may or may not need the nuts. Chances are you probably won't, you'll just want the skewer like that. As you can see, the thread's slightly different colour on that one. That's because this one was custom made. So for my bike, for that particular bike, this one was a standard axle, so it was easy to buy for $19. This one had to be custom made, and it was another $10 extra, so $29 for that. So the total really is $50 for both. Now, they're made from 7075 alloy, so they're strong and they're light. And just to compare, these are DT Swiss ones, so I'll just take the handle off. Front and rear, front and rear. Now, let's compare the weight of the DT Swiss compared to these ones here. First the DT Swiss ones. $65 grams. And the ones we just bought, 64 grams. So much in the muchness. If you need a custom made skewer, just quote the skewer length, thread length, the diameter, and the pitch of the thread that you need. Well, there we go, got the through axles in, and it's much better looking, especially if you've got an aerodynamic frame. If you're going for the advantages, why have these handles sticking out, which are definitely not aerodynamic? And even if you're not going for the aerodynamic advantage or the look, it still looks much neater to have no handles in there. So when you go for a ride, just take either the handle, or as I do, I just take an Allen key with me, stick that in my back pocket, and I'm right. And even better, if you're riding with a bunch, there's always someone with an Allen key with them, so even if you forget or you don't want to take it with you, then you'll still be right. Now, the through axles are $19 each. That's all they'll cost you, free postage. So if you want 2 axles, that's what, $38. That's if the standard size and he's got them in stock. If you're like me, I had to get the front one custom made. It's only $10 extra. So free postage, which is a plus, and even better, I got these in 7 days, within the 7 days, and I was surprised when I got the package. It's like, what's this? And it was the through axles. So all being said and done, I'll leave the seller's details below and just let him know what you need to have in size and all that sort of thing, and he'll fix you up, no problems at all. Okay, that's it for me. Happy riding, and I'll see you next time.